And the microphones are working.
Yeah, we're just gonna do an audio check. This one definitely has a higher gain for right here, but this has a wider pickup, so we can still swap these if you want.
Is the primary microphone picking it up okay? Can you see, does it look like it's picking it up fine?
Yeah, it looks like it's picking it up all right.
Okay.
This is going to be a very lively meeting. I am noticing.
It's kind of getting there.
This is going to be a very what?
Oh, the stream.
Oh, there's already people commenting.
Yeah, there's quite a few people.
Hi, people commenting. Is the audio in sync? Just let us know. We have 2 microphones this time.
A bit echoey.
Okay.
I even this morning upped them just a little bit, and it's like had like 10.
I'm gonna try removing that 18 millisecond delay. I wonder if. Okay, how's it sound now? Perhaps a little bit better.
Hear you loud and clear.
Loud and clear?
Yay!
So I removed the.
The thing that we worked on so much trying to get working.
Yeah, the thing that we did last
And
night.
now it works just fine?
Now it works fine.
Nice.
I think. Let me just actually load it up here on my phone real quick, just so I can.
Did you just stop the stream again?
No, should be going.
Let's go.
I'm noticing it's buffering on mine somewhat
Oh,
because of the Wi-Fi.
we did just drop a whole bunch of frames.
Experience, which was very unexpected. So I threw myself off by doing one.
Even if it is dropping somewhat, there's something is better than nothing.
All of your weapon slots and like class slots and stuff. Store that box.
There was a brief dropout, but it's back fine now.
And I can't use class slots yet.
Yeah.
So I'm on the GSR's Wi-Fi right now, and I'm just looking at our YouTube channel, but it's not showing.
Go under videos. It should be there.
Hey, Tycho.
Yeah, but it should also say, just under videos?
Yeah, that's where I had to go.
Tycho.
Yeah.
If you still have the credentials, GSRI is still up.
Really? Still?
Yeah.
They haven't changed it in all this time?
No, but that might get you a better connection.
Which one?
I just was looking at the wrong place. So. Okay. Yeah, it looks like it's going out. I'm not going to unmute my computer because it's right next to the microphone. Unless we want some vicious feedback.
Audio check.
Audio check. Don't buffer. Still waiting for the audio check to come through.
It just dropped another 200 frames.
Is that because it doesn't have enough bandwidth, or because your laptop is slow?
Bandwidth. It sounded alright when it's not buffering. It is tempting to try their network. I'm gonna mute it real quick. We're going to restart real quick, drop the bitrate down, and then reduce the buffering.
That's what they're looking at.
Hey chat, how's the buffering? Is it better? And how's the audio? Is it good? Is the buffering good? Thank you for your input.
There we go. Now you should be able to hear us.
So, the stream is just hanging on by a thread, much like the sanity of most of the staff members during the convention.
Sometimes before.
Just pushing enough bits.
Okay, so we are unmuted and we are, I guess, live.
Yep, much better.
I don't mind spending a few more minutes to let
Hello.
people wander their way in, because we often start a little bit late and people often show up a little bit late. Meanwhile, if you have an agenda in front of you, if you don't, there are several scattered around the room. If you have an agenda in front of you, it's also linked in the chat. Please feel free to read through the updates on your own. I used to go through them verbally, but there's really no reason to. People can read, and it's a lot faster for people to just read it themselves. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Same goes for the reminders underneath the updates. And this particular meeting this month is kind of a quickie. Just get everybody reintroduced, get everybody kind of get the ball rolling again, get used to having meetings again. But
people are into the augmentation of that. But also there's a note of people really being into themselves and visual style. Would it possibly conflict story-wise that people would more so gravitate to VR and style that way, so all the other stuff kind of gets pushed aside? Or would there be some kind of balance between the two?
So that's actually where that style is intended to be, is implemented via VR.
So it's like through VR, they augment their bodies.
Right.
So graphically, they change their bodies, not more so physical as it would be like in Cyberpunk or something like that.
It may be a mixture of both. It's
Okay, I see.
the theme is still in the idea stage.
Right.
And unfortunately, Sierra couldn't make it to the meeting today. She's still out of town. I don't know if she's on the chat though. Hopefully she was able to make it into the chat today. Sierra is the person who is working on spearheading this theme, and myself, I'm trying to support as best I can. And I think Kay is helping out to some degree as well. I'm gonna look over this again and make sure there's nothing here that's changed since I wrote this. Those first three bullet points on the theme concepts is the sort of the most critical parts that we're trying to go for.
The first three, you said?
Yeah, those first 3 bullet points,
Not including the year or?
including. So really, those first 2 bullet points of trying to be very optimistic and trying not to have like a depressing future where everybody is poor and lives in slums. It's kind of more
like trapped inside, living in VR and working their asses off 18 hours a day. But they love it because they can have everything in VR. It's like, and their whole outdoor life is like Minecraft 2120. What extent are we?
One of the other big ideas was the bespoke and artistic products being fairly commonplace because most mass manufactured products are available to anyone pretty much any time they want it. So the custom made products become special, and one of the things we're looking at trying to do is implement sort of a small maker fair like activity in ConSpace during Con itself for people to show off their creations. That's one of the big things we're trying to push for.
Kind of like the little artist alley thing, which is kind of a...
Right, but not necessarily stuff for sale, just people showing off their creations instead.
To what extent are we collaborating with the other cons, or is it each one still kind of... will that be
So far, the only level of collaboration is just having a shared universe, just the same backstory.
Do we foresee adding on to that, or is that not?
I think every con that's participating in this is going to add their own flavor.
No, I mean adding on to the collaboration, or was that never really something that we anticipated doing? I wasn't sure to what extent it was in collaboration with, like, will at-con experiences some be shared between different conventions, or
Possibly, but that's a stretch goal. That's not a primary goal.
I would kind of think that to some extent, because we do share a lot with FC, that there would be some crossover a little bit development-wise. I mean, kind of like the part of the universe I was talking about was that the themes would be related to the time period in the same universe, but also including kind of like the specialties of what they are, like considering that like FC in Southern California's con would be kind of more like a big Pan-Asian sort of thing, because they're, you know, like
So-
that whole region of the state has become basically technology and trade.
So each of the individual conventions is looking at like what aspects of their city is sort of unique to them and what they'd like to focus on for their sort of little piece of the story. Given our history, we're probably going to have the strongest storytelling, just because we are kind of known for that. But the goal here is trying to create this sort of backstory And there's a small Telegram chat that has a few representatives from each convention, and a single document that we're all working on editing and tweaking and polishing until we have something that we can all be reasonably happy with.
Question on the chat. Do we have any idea what the shirt's going to look like for the upcoming year? Has that even been started yet?
Not even started yet.
Okay.
I predict stretchy synthetic fabrics.
Odds are good that we'll still use the same material and process as prior years, because that process works out well for us. And,
Yeah.
creates kind of a premium product that most people seem to like. A few people would actually prefer a cotton t-shirt because they're a little more breathable, but most people seem to like the full graphic t-shirts more so than the basic screen printed shirts.
Yep.
What's that?
They're good for partially.
They're good for partially.
Yeah, actually they are.
Oh yeah, because they stretch right over versus
Whatever.
nicely and whatever, yeah.
But the main concepts that we tossed around so far was the positivity, the ubiquity of being able to create products at home. And this is all backstory. We're still trying to figure out how this is going to apply to actual convention experiences.
So it's more of a utopian kind of feel.
It is a little bit. It's definitely positive. It's definitely optimistic.
Is there any emphasis on how it got to this point?
Not too terribly much. There's a little bit of backstory being generated on how it got there, but most of it's just like this technology became a thing of this year, this technology became a thing of this year, et cetera, et cetera. And these are the technology frogs that got it to where it is. Another interesting concept that was kicked around was the idea of material scarcity, energy abundance, but material scarcity, where we've basically picked up all the raw materials we can, and
Makes sense.
there's very little left to work with. So most raw materials come from recycling, and recycling has been greatly expanded by then and is pretty much universal. You can essentially just throw anything into this recycler and it just turns it back into raw materials.
So how do you imagine that would work with the 3D printing?
It's almost like one feeds the other, right?
Okay.
It's almost like the other one's almost a reverse 3D printer where it just takes everything and turns it back into raw materials.
Okay, so you imagine something with BLFC into it then, that everybody would have access to?
Right.
Okay, cool.
And even to the point where people just have them in their own homes. They're so ubiquitous that everybody just has a 3D printer or a 3D printer on steroids just in their living room, and they just make whatever they need whenever they need it.
So there would be a scarcity, but the same way people would be able to convert already material and
Right.
recycle it. And it sounds like it'd be fairly easy to do, or what's the strain on that?
Well, a lot of the stuff that's being taught, a lot of the ideas that are being tossed around in the story are not things we can physically do yet because the technology doesn't exist.
Right, yeah.
Obviously. So figuring out how to highlight those things and still be able to make something fun with those story elements is what we're going to do as we try to get the story figured out.
Okay.
And there will probably be elements of the story that are just story elements and don't have anything that can be done in terms of Atcon activities or Atcon decorations or any of that. And there's other things that can be done. And there will probably also be ideas that get thrown out of, hey, it would be fun if we could do X activity, and we just figure out how to write it into the story. Figure out how to make it fit.
Have any of those been kind of brainstormed yet, or not so much yet?
The only one is that Maker Faire idea.
Okay.
So far, the only idea that's really gotten people excited. I like this small team. I really like it too. I think that's going to be a
If we
good
can find
highlight.
like a decent enough size space to do that, that would do. Because it goes back to like the one woman who built the fursuit head at the con and we auctioned at the end.
I remember that.
Yeah. So people were really interested in watching that happen, actually.
Oh yeah, okay, that's what
going on, you know.
where she was working on it live and just letting people watch while she worked. Yeah, and I feel like probably the most sensible place for something like that is going to be one of the two hangout rooms. Not sure which yet. Either one probably makes sense. But just carve out a corner and let people show off what they've made.
Could we potentially partition a section of the art gallery for that?
Not unless you make the art gallery bigger.
Good point.
We do fill up pretty much all the space in there as it is now.
The just kind of kicking ideas around in my head. It's some sort of maker fair like that would probably make sense in the upstairs hangout space on Saturday, as long as the festival is already finished and done.
Are you talking about second stage?
Yeah, because it doesn't need that whole room to be second stage. That room is hangout space and could pretty easily be cleared out a bit to give people more of a kind of a festival vibe, or more of a.
Would that be something that needs to be attended?
People would be attending their own creations.
Yeah.
People would bring in their creations and show them off, and just pick a spot and start showing their things. Whatever it is they wanted to create and show off that they think is theme appropriate.
All right.
Meanwhile, while the theme is getting sorted out, I'm trying to do my best to get everything back, get all the other nuts and bolts going again, and get all the gears turning that need to turn. So,
Such as like the volunteer block.
correct. Room block for 2019 volunteers is going to be available pretty soon.
This close.
It was
This close to being today.
It was pinching motion this close to being done for today. So it should really be ready in just the next day or two.
On that note, though, volunteer applications are open. We haven't really done much fanfare about it because we were hoping to announce it at the same time as the room block. But if someone does want to go online and apply, you can go ahead and do so now.
Well, we're still going to announce it together anyway. But yes, if you feel like putting in your volunteer application, you can do that right now.
Does
They are
staff members
open.
need to reapply again?
What's that?
Does staff members still
Yes,
need to
everyone.
Every
every year.
single person must reapply every year.
Even leads.
Even leads, everybody.
This is why
But
we've
just
been
log in
going
your same
to.
account that you used.
Yeah, your account is still there. So it won't take you very long to reapply. But
No.
yes, always reapply every single year because I don't want to make assumptions that somebody's coming back.
And something we even knew this year is that we've been going to leads even and saying, "Do you want to return?"
Right.
And as far as that room block goes, I assume we'll be seeing an email in the near
Yep.
future.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And
And then probably another email, and then probably another email.
also will come up reminders.
It would be wise. Because a lot of them still went unused last year, even though they were like, hey, like, you can use it for yourself, or you can give it to a friend. I don't care. You earn it.
Yep.
It's available.
Well, then, just a reminder to everybody here that if you see those reminders go out and other people are staff members and you're friends with them,
Yep.
it can't hurt to remind them that, hey, did you get your room?
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes people just don't look at email, sometimes people don't get notifications, but
Yeah, and the current thinking is that the majority of the flood of hotel bookings after the first actual drawing wave is going to be November 17th. So I'm recommending that everybody get their room booked before November 17th because after that time the selection's going to get a lot slimmer. Because we can't hold any particular type of room. All we can do is hold total inventory and guarantee people are going to book up all the queens first.
Talking about opening up the main
Yeah.
drawing.
Right. There will definitely, there's lots of queens. There will definitely still be plenty of queens left when the main drawing opens. But after that point, all bets are off. They'll probably be gone. So. Other questions? I wish I could answer more questions about the theme, but it's still kind of in progress right now.
Do we want to talk about the new way to request party rooms and quiet
Sure.
floor?
Sorry about that. The party floor and quiet floor are special room types in hotel booking now. So you just, when you get your booking link and when you go to book your room, instead of booking a regular room, you can just book a quiet room instead, or a party floor room instead. And if there's space available to put you on one of those floors, that's where you'll get put. Otherwise, you'll just get pushed back to general, as if you had booked a regular room. As is the case, just like it was last year, current year staff and volunteers in that order get priority on the quiet floor over regular attendees. We actually did have a couple regular attendees on the floor this last year because there weren't that many staff members that were in king rooms that requested it, so there were actually
Everybody went in queens.
Regular attendees. The queen rooms were all staff members. I don't think it even made it down to volunteers before they were out.
Question from the chat: are we keeping the third floor again this year? I assume for panels. I would say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Third floor for panels. One of the 7 panel rooms has become their new boardroom and has a permanent large table in the middle of it with a bunch of seats around it.
Which room is that?
That is what the room we were supposed to be in today. That's what was Whitney. And they are in the process of relabeling it as the executive boardroom right now.
So will we still have access to it?
Yes.
Okay.
We still have it. You can still use it. Because of that room's layout, it doesn't make sense for panels anymore, but it would make a great artist lounge, I think.
Yeah, either an artist lounge or some kind of events focused on using a table. We can work that out later.
There is some panels that can probably work in there.
Okay.
Like smaller ones.
Well, smaller ones, but we also had ones that did like creative stuff, like group drawing sessions, or they had some you did like the House of Cards thing. So having a more stable table would be conducive to that.
Yeah, because it's a huge heavy table in the middle of the room.
Yeah.
And to me, that sounds like a great place for artists to work on their craft. Without having to worry about the table being bumped while they're in the middle of trying to eat something precise or whatever.
Yeah, so we'll figure it out. But yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Just want to make sure we still have it.
Yeah.
So long as it's a clean activity, we don't want to leave anything behind in the executive boardroom that you actually use it for serious things.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And not smearing paint all over the place, of course.
Yes.
For people who have not seen it downstairs already, they turned the old boardroom into a Fat Tuesday bar with frozen daiquiris.
Yep, I hope that our attendees take good advantage of that.
I'm about to go downstairs to get
I
into
don't
it.
think you need to hope. It's alcohol.
Yes.
I just hope they have enough stock for us.
Yeah, that's probably
That is one thing I will tell them, talk to the other people around here to see what kind of
Volume
an
extra.
idea you're gonna get for drinks, even make a special deal or something for Congo,
And they all seem to be themed, so I would not be surprised if that was a thing.
You think it change all the names over like they do at some restaurants?
Yep.
AC.
Water bottles or the deal with porta subs is not necessarily a thing we do every year as a swag item, but it's popular, so we usually try to fit it in to make it make sense for that year's theme. And if it doesn't make sense for that year's theme, there's at least one year that we just sold it as an item separately. It was not a swag item for that year. It was just go buy one if you want. That was the year when we used those very basic plastic cups. And so that might be the only thing you were buying was just that liquid itself. Not really any kind of particular treasure.
But do know that Porta Subs pretty much assumes we're gonna do that every year, and they're ready for it, so they basically back the tanker truck up and let loose the corn syrup. And we did that. And I'll tell you, we murder that soda machine.
So, yeah, reminders, also feedback. I know I told people to just read this, but I'm kind of reading it myself too. Feedback is important. If you still have feedback about last year, we'd still love to hear it. If you haven't sent it to us, please send it to us.
Where will you send it?
Feedback at BLFC.org. It says it right in the agenda.
Not everybody reads the notes. Nobody reads signs. Don't expect them to read the notes. Where's the art gallery?
That is the whole reason
Well, you mean
why
the
I
art show,
stopped
right?
going through all these bullet points one by one and wasting everyone's time.
I made a sign at work. It was 2 inches away from somebody's face. No, 1 foot in front of their face. And they weren't doing what the sign said. And I said, did you not read the sign? And they look at it and they go, what? So there you go.
Well, you know, that's like way beyond us and way beyond the science world. That is just a complete lack of awareness.
Yeah, it kind of going with where's our gallery one. This year I had several groups of people come up here to the 3rd floor and ask me where karaoke was.
I don't know. Is he attending?
Very, very likely the karaoke. I haven't actually asked them yet, but I imagine they'll return for next year, most likely.
It seemed to be really popular.
Yeah.
It's kind of one of those things we sort of have to have, and it doesn't take much space and it doesn't take much to set up.
Yeah, it doesn't cost much money.
That's it. It isn't really any trouble for us to do it so long as somebody has the gear to set it up. It's just basically 2 speakers and a mic and.
If someone else
And
is
just
doing
in a
all the
place
work
where other
and
people
you don't have to
have
pay
to
all that
hear it.
much for it.
Yeah.
It's just, it's an easy thing you can offer for pretty cheap.
Everyone was jealous of that.
Just so long as it's where they can hear it and have.
We reached a decision on like dealers and what they're looking for.
Dealers will definitely, after they have been approved, the approved dealers will have a couple of weeks to book their rooms before the drawing happens. And they'll have the same November 17th deadline.
Do we know when their box is going to open?
Well, should be, as long as the dealers then staff can get all the approvals done in time. It's supposed to be November 1st. So they'll have 2 weeks, a little more than 2 weeks.
Just in case anybody knows somebody who might be interested in it, but doesn't yet know, applications for the deals that are open.
Yes.
And they will be open until 15th.
Yeah.
We've announced that, I think we've probably got a fair amount, but
Yeah.
Let's get
There's
started.
already like 180 applications.
you happen to know somebody who's not even aware and would like to be.
That's another one to take, right?
Yeah, that's already more than we have taken. That's about half of the applications we got last year. It was something over 300 applications last year that they had to sort through.
And I assume, what's that called, Marketplace, or whatever it is there late? Yeah, that's gonna be much later on. So.
Correct. That's primarily there as a place for people who didn't get selected for dealers then to reapply for Marketplace.
Do we know when that's gonna happen?
If their setup works in that area. I don't have an answer yet on when that's going to happen. I just know it's going to be after the dealer's done selection is done.
No worries.
And they will have to apply again for Marketplace, although I believe the system will copy everything from their dealer's done application if they apply to Marketplace.
Oh,
So they won't need to enter, hopefully.
I do have a question, so.
Sure.
So for events, it'd be nice if we could use like the main stage or something, is that possible?
Potentially, yeah. Main Stage is very, very big though.
Yeah.
That's,
It's for a big event, so.
Okay.
It could be as big as the dance competition, so.
okay.
Well, the thing to remember is with anything on stage, you need you need type of shit figured out really early.
Yeah, that's why I'm wondering that now, so.
Yeah, the stage needs to, what's the word that they need for, like, they need to be able to set up for it, like plan every little segment of that stage. There's no
Exactly.
Yeah, they'll need a run of what they call a run of show plan.
Right.
And nominally you want to have that ready at least a month ahead of time.
Okay, is there someone I could
be able to do that with the AAD initiative to get you.
Also, to even try to get on the stage, you'll need to apply for events and panels, which is the same thing, which is actually currently live. It went live last night. So you can apply there.
Perfect.
And that's primarily so we remember to get on the stage.
So programming applications is live.
Yes, programming for the events and panels are now live, so you can apply for events.
Which reminds me, I put opening ceremonies in there as a test, but there's a couple more events that I need to put in still, so.
Okay.
I'm sure I don't forget to do that. Like closing ceremonies.
Oh, no, I'm never in.
No closing ceremonies.
Yeah, I want to try to make sure that everything, even the special events are.
Crash did confirm that yes.
You guys have the whole thing in front of you. Don't miss anything.
Crash did confirm that yes, for those who do not get approved for Dealer's Den, they will copy the information over automatically if they want to apply for the.
So they'll make it really quick and easy for them to file a bizarre application.
But even now, there is a way to select. People who are applying now could have chosen bizarre. Right? And the application is like checkbox.
That application is open yet. I think it's there in the sidebar in the reg system, but I believe
Yeah, it says not.
But that was like a checkbox. Regularly it was an application.
It's two separate applications.
Just a quick question: when can we start dropping off charity auction and game room donations?
Oh, jeez.
Yes,
Thoroughly.
I love it.
I think.
Let's get a local charity first, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I love Alkali to death, and he is absolutely coming back. But we really are better off with a local person. He's better as a stage presence and not so.
So if you want the warm and fuzzies, I think, I don't know if we're looking, but I know we should be looking for a charity person locally.
That's on your list, right, Levi? Of people to be seeking out. Somebody for charity.
Yeah.
To basically to keep the charity department itself organized. Keep all the events.
And then just more as a stage presence have that fly. Okay.
Yeah, and then actual stage presence stuff would still fall to alcohol.
Okay.
Because they're good at that. And that lets them focus on that and not have to worry about the nuts and bolts of keeping track of the department.
Yeah.
That would look good on the resume.
Do we actually have a place where we have current job openings listed?
There's no real specific job openings. It's more so just apply for the departments that you prefer. And then we generally, as we go through the applications, we would kind of assign you to what you prefer, and if not, what you are okay with working in.
So if somebody were to be interested in that position, they would then volunteer for the charity department and then put all that information in?
Yes.
Right.
And then kind of go approach them and see if they want to be that lead and go from there.
Okay.
Is there a note section in the application like there was last year?
Yes. The
So
application.
they could just make a note that they're applying for that lead.
Yeah, and it's exactly, the application looks exactly the same. There hasn't really been any changes aside from one or two department names.
If you'd like, I have the org chart in front of me. I can just run through it mentally, or you can run through it, and we can list off the departments that we currently don't have a person.
I don't have it in front of me at the moment.
That might be, we might want to wait a little bit for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I got to go over with you a few things.
Okay. So I think we can do that pretty soon. There's probably maybe half a dozen departments, most of them small, that may be in need of a new person.
Is that team culture?
We can talk about that this weekend if you want. Okay.
Maybe Sunday?
Huh?
We'll figure out a time after the meeting.
Yeah, the sooner we can get that done, the better. Any other questions?
But we're still sticking to Slack, right?
Yes. Slack hasn't changed their terms of service or anything, so we still have the same access that we had before.
I feel like I need to ask to make sure since we've changed so many times in the past.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, Cameron. Yo. How you doing?
Okay. You did?
Are you free yet?
No.
Not quite yet.
I have 5 days left.
Still 5 days.
Across 3 weeks.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had no specific discussion topics for this particular month. I did mention here in the updates the comm layout is likely to be very nearly identical to 2018. So that means since we have the space, that basically just means that video gaming moves back downstairs and the stuff that was on the back wall of the battery goes back up to the crystal ball room. That's really the only fundamental change
What's the stuff
from
on the
last
back
year.
wall?
What's that? That back wall had the escape rooms and third stage.
Oh, right. Okay.
So escape rooms and third stage would go back up to the ballroom and video gaming back downstairs, because as I understand it, that's the preference, that's the preferred area.
The 2018 space?
Yeah.
That area will work just fine.
Yeah. From what I recall, that was slightly preferred over the crystal ballroom because there's higher doors to be able to get stuff through more easily.
Ooh, have the air walls been upgraded or updated yet?
I don't know if they've been updated yet, but my understanding is they will be wallpaper by next year. The air walls downstairs in the battery will be changed to wallpaper for next year.
Okay, then we will definitely need to make adjustments based
Yes.
on that.
Yeah, we're gonna need to make some changes to our galleries equipment.
More supplies.
And quite a bit more wire grid probably.
Yes.
Do we know how many registration levels there will be this year?
Do we know how many registration levels?
Yes.
Still planning 4.
Okay.
Still planning the same 4 levels as last year. Attendee, sponsor, patron, epic. Attendee price is not changing from last year. Sponsor, patron, and epic are going up a little bit with the intent of using that money to give them better stuff. My intent is always with sponsor and above to use the majority of the money they give us to buy them swag to give back to them. So if you ever hear anybody talking about like, oh, I always pick the patron level because I want to support the con, it's like, tell them that you don't need to do that. That the con is, the budgeting is set up specifically so that regular attendees cover the con. And everything above that is really just given back to them as slack, collectibles and otherwise.
Quick question, I believe this is from Reds. Any way to make it clear that our escape room is separated from the one that is already inside the GSR? And is it coming back? Because the GSR just opened up their own escape room.
So we might have to talk to them.
Yeah, we'll have to talk to them to see if we're even allowed to have one. Sorry, I remember, I had forgotten about it, but I remember them telling me that was coming, that was going to eventually do that.
Something to be
we'll
looking
have to
into.
ask them permission, because if it's gonna compete with an on-site business, they may well not appreciate that.
We might, if we have enough people for it, we might have to try and make a deal with them where all the access would be, but that's something we can figure out later.
They don't, they fill up. It's not like we're gonna eat up all the business.
Yeah, that is true. They're always usually booked out most of the days.
Yeah, that's true.
So there would definitely be runover. So GSR having their own would probably help, especially if we could somehow get them and the GSR in contact with each other to talk about it.
Oh, I guess the one in the GSR is run by a local company, not the GSR itself.
Okay.
So,
Still something we're gonna have to talk to.
Yeah, the GSR will still want to talk to us about that. That's what that company.
Okay. That's all I have. We can all be free.
Everybody ready?
I'm sorry to torture you with this general meeting, Tycho. Your
What's that?
service is appreciated.
Yes.
What about general meeting? I didn't hear what you said.
Do you anticipate when the next meeting might be?
Third Friday. So,
Okay,
so
we'll stick with that one.
yeah, same schedule of third Friday every month. And
So that'll be the 18th.
is that what,
Yeah.
October 18th is the next one?
Yeah.
And no additional questions from the chat? You're probably bringing them to us.
No, I've been bringing them up. Aside from Liz saying hello to everyone.
Was saying what?
Hello.
No, I Liz.
That's it.
Okay, then I guess that would be meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming, and it's good to see you all again. And we have this room that's online if people want to chat about whatever. It's
Yeah.
no rush to leave.
You out here already?
No.
Okay.
So I guess Cody, you should probably add that to your notes of stuff to talk about. What's going to be the status